Welcome, everybody. It's me, Brandy P, and my lovely co-host, Miss Amelia Peacock, and Pacifica Sour from Yes, I Am the Veteran. And it's been a few weeks, so it's lovely to see you guys again and playing our intro that I wasn't supposed to play. It's okay.
I like the added pick.
I know. I was like, we need to actually meet up and take good pictures. We just met up 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Came up here and she visited me in Narnia, and we went out to eat the day after I had surgery. It was rough. I was trying to be such a team player. I probably look crazy.
You were.
No, we had a good time though. That was great. Yeah.
So, what do you think of Canyon Lake out here, Pacifica?
Well, I think I like it. What I don't like is the encroaching suburbia that seems to be going on.
Yeah,
really all around the area. But yeah, I'm looking for a place kind of in the country.
Nice.
That I can enjoy and be out from underneath the crowdedness of the city. So no, we enjoyed it, and it was nice to spend my birthday out there. And Granny D's, man,
slaps.
Granny D's.
That's what I was gonna say. She did a real good job talking about, I wasn't feeling well. No, she definitely had the pull through with the place and everything. It was fantastic.
Yep. How much it was Pacifica's birthday? I'm glad you had your birthday. You know, there's nothing out here, so I was like, oh man, I hope she's not mad that there's not crazier stuff to do. I'm still working on projects.
Well, I'm not crazy about my birthday, so it was. I kind of like the low key stuff.
Nice. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we were able to spend it with you, sis. Yeah. It was a great day.
Me too.
And speaking of great days, so Amelia, tell me, what did you think about the Rosie the Riveter fundraiser, the commemoration event that we did?
Oh my goodness. I was so excited that we were able to go, and we were talking nonstop and raising awareness about Rosie and everything, or May, and everything that she's done, all the Rosies, what they've done, the different stories. We had our wheel spinner. Thanks, Dad. The spinning wheel is always a win.
Yes, that was awesome. That was the best idea and the worst idea, because I know the reason when I swear it was just magnetically attracted to tell a Rosie the Riveter story.
Yes, it was. I'm gonna proud for you next time.
They were all different stories for the most part. Everyone was just that really happened. Yeah,
yes. You have a ton of stories, and I love it. But it was so amazing what we were able to raise and contribute. Yes. And that's really what I'm very excited about, and all the work that you put into it to get the items that we had on hand to be able to sell and to share with our women veterans. And I'll let you share more about that. But I'm very excited for you to share the amount that we were able to raise as well.
And we actually set a podcast record. It was the most we'd ever raised at one fundraiser event. And the reason I wanted to do it was twofold. So May turned 100. And she was just featured in People magazine, and the podcast that I also produce was mentioned in it. So I was just like, but I do this from home. but at the end of the day, what May wanted for her birthday was something that I wanted to help her with and Raya with. And she said she didn't want gifts for her birthday. She wanted people to donate to the World War II Women's Memorial Foundation. That Raya is the founder of. And so her house was still full of flowers, and she did cut her own grass for the first time this year after she turned 100. She said she did want to outlive her mattress warranty, and she did.
Good. Let's go another 100.
She gave us a scare last week. We were all stressed out. But but we did end up having a little mini, I don't know, it was like a merch booth, really. I felt like is what it was. But what it was is we had the prize wheel with different things that you could win or you could donate. Mm-hmm. And we also had bandanas, signed books of May's new book that's available on Amazon. We can do it. And we had a little bit of everything else. And I think everyone really liked the Rosie grab bag. And in 4 hours,
Mhm.
$805. So I was very excited about that. I wanted to make at least 500 because that would be enough for like the unsigned and signed copies of the book.
Mhm.
And, like it would basically mean that I was able to at least clear 20 books or something like that. And yeah, it was definitely an experience. And I felt bad because I couldn't talk to as many people as I liked because we were kind of doing a lot, but it was nice to have a little special message from May as well.
Yes, that was I was so very thankful that you were able to coordinate that and get that to come to life, especially for everyone here, with that being the first commemoration event in the area. It's really important, I think, especially to learn from the ladies that have come before us and have paved the way so much for what we are able to have today, even though there's a far ways to go.
Absolutely. And honestly, they're living history and they're not going to be around forever. And having the opportunities that we've had to meet May, to work with May, those are stories that I'm going to remember for life. And so, it's always fun. I never know where my adventures with May will take me, but it always ends up somewhere very interesting.
I would have to agree.
So what did you think about seeing me like behind the wheel? Because their version of StreamYard, which we use to stream it, is very different from like what I do on my end. And she saw me like we had like 17 guests that night. And so Amelia got to watch firsthand because she snuck into the VFW that was very
I didn't sneak in. I mean, they let me in. Okay.
Thank you, Port 76, for letting us sneak into your ballroom and stream there. We appreciated it because we did not have enough time. We were even making sales in the parking lot, like packing up as we left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was a good idea.
No, and mad props to you and Pacifica because I know y'all both have a lot of background in this area. I will just say I'm so thankful that y'all are there to do what you do with the magic and finesse that you do it with. Thank you.
Pacifica's more of the talent. I just kind of have weird Sons of Anarchy experiences that sometimes work out.
Oh, which one of that?
How are you doing?
That one?
So were you nominated for another award for your documentary? Is that right?
Actually, yeah, we're the nominee now at the Believe Psychology Film Festival in Glendale. And we're going to be streaming on Oxygen. So I'll have some information about that in May.
What?
Yeah. I know, it's going to be cool.
Oxygen,
so.
like that is big.
I'm so excited.
Oh, we're excited too.
We're going to have to do like a whole watch party. You know that, right?
Yes,
like,
we are.
That's happening.
So,
the same channel that Snapped airs is going to air your like that. That's perfectly Pacifica. Like not like to knock what you do, but you're right in line with like the jokes that we make in the green room. That's perfect.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm excited to get eyes on it, and hopefully we can. It's all going to start with the individual because we shouldn't have to, and we should not have to, and we should not ever expect the government to take care of any of this. We need to do it ourselves. So maybe with all of our voices, we'll be heard, and something will get done. But this is a step in the right direction. So I'm very excited. So from May 15th until May 17th, Entertainment Oxygen is going to have online access to the film. So I'm hoping that I'll find some way to get out the information on how to log in and get tickets and this kind of thing so everyone can check it out.
That's amazing. Yes. Like I'm so excited for you.
Well, we're going to Seattle this week for the Social Justice Film Festival. So I'm leaving tomorrow. And
Nice.
I'll get back on Saturday, but Friday night, USMST headlines at the Social Justice Film Festival. So we're, it's starting to move.
Yes, and I'm so excited. And I never had any doubt at all especially because everything that you produce, you have so much intentionality soaked into every last detail of what you do. And so I am so excited to see all the different places that it's making it to, because you're right, we do have to take action. And this is a huge step, Pacifica. And thanks to you, that has been able to come to life and opens doors for a lot.
Well, I know that in the MST space, there are a lot of loud voices, but I think that we all kind of silo ourselves. We need to make a coalition. It's the only way we're going to get anywhere with this topic anyway.
Yep.
A lot of people screaming into the void. But, together we can have one big voice, and maybe they can't ignore all of us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's what I'm looking forward to anyway. But stand by, because it's just going to get crazier from here.
Nice.
I love it. I'm holding on. We'll see how it goes. I love it.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
I got you.
it's you. Like, we're just gonna be entertained as hell, like watching with popcorn. Like, dang, is it good? I actually just met a veteran, and he was part of a team where the interviewer won an Emmy for like the story they ran on him, and he's going to be coming on in May. And I told him, I was like, the bottom of it, there's a plaque on it, right? And he goes, I noticed the plaque, but I didn't read it because they gave him a replica. And I was like, this is what it says. And he goes, I think you're right. So I'm like, it has 6, and she had mentioned it. And so I was like, is that what yours says? And he goes, I think it does. No, I need to check it again.
Yeah, it's not official if it doesn't have that message. They don't belong to you. They belong to the Academy. And if anything happens to you or you can't pass that down to someone in your family, they want that trophy back.
Dang. So like you just inherit your family, like just return it. Like just to be
well,
safe.
let me read you the instruction. They're all the same, but they have a message on the bottom, and it's legalese.
Dang, it's like the whole call. Everyone's gonna be like 8 to 20 words. Like,
that this statuette is property, and all rights reserved by the Academy of Television, the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. It may not be reproduced or used in any commercial manner, blah, blah, blah. And if the recipient or the recipient's heir or successor in interest proposes to sell or otherwise dispose of this Emmy statuette, such person shall be obligated to return it to the Academy. So
basically, your kids can't sell it. That's what that is.
Yeah, no selling.
They don't belong to you. The honor belongs to you. This statuette belongs to the Academy.
Okay.
And the official, the lady here is all theirs. So the honor belongs to you, the title, but the trophy itself is basically on loan.
So the steering privileges are for you, but the rest is for them. That makes sense, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, so if you give me, it doesn't have any of that on it.
I only won like one award in the last 5 years, and it's 5 pounds of glass.
Oh, but check this one out. We got this one for MST. Hold on. So this is our newest award for USMST. And I put my flower on it, but
I love that. That looks familiar.
We did good. So
I'm so proud of you. That's the newest award.
Yeah, this is the newest one, and they weigh about the same. So
you're gonna need to get a new shelf.
Well, yeah.
Just buy like a whole new bookshelf just to be safe. Like, that way you got space. They don't get crowded.
I got to make sure that the floor can support the weight before I get any.
I'm gonna start calling you Chris Winston if you keep getting trophies like that. Like he has so many trophies in his shop, it goes around literally 3 times.
Oh man, could you imagine? There's a guy in Houston named Wayne Dolcefino. He's a awesome investigative reporter, and when he does his little podcast thing, he's got all of his Emmys in the back. He's got like 30 or 40 of them.
Oh wow!
So yeah, some people have tons of them.
Man, The things
Right?
people
I
do for
know.
one, and dude's got like a whole warehouse basically.
Well, what is your career
Crazy
over,
work.
20, 30, 40, 50 years? I mean, um, it's not hard to amass these things.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
The
think
only
you
person
say
I
it's
know that
not hard to amass it, but you have
right, but
quite the creative mind and the way of putting it all together, Pacifica.
yeah, I was
So
gonna
please
say you're
do not
quite
Oh,
in
diminish the level of
for real.
things and talent and everything that it takes for that. So I'm just gonna stand here and remind you of that factor, ma'am.
oh, I'm just a good storyteller. I love sea stories, and so I'm I
Uh,
made all my awards, telling good yarns. But yeah, absolutely. I enjoy my job. So
Yeah,
can't
Yay.
complain.
you can definitely see it in all your work. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, definitely keep us updated. I know that you had a screening here in San Antonio at the University of Texas San Antonio. I actually graduated from that college and I accidentally saluted the dean. I did a shake, take, and salute when I graduated because, like, the military in me, I was like, oh, yeah, salute. And I'm like, no, don't salute. Don't. I still did it. Like, he didn't know what to do. He just kind of looked at me like, okay. It's like, now it's weird for all of us.
Yep.
I never
Force of
turned
habit.
it And so, Amelia, did you want to hit us with a knowledge drop?
I can definitely do that. I'm gonna share because this one's especially important to me. To be quite honest, because of some things that have happened recently, and so with my recent experience and everything that's been going on, it's really brought to light some areas. And so, but I'm glad that it is being talked about now because that's definitely something that's needed, right? And so I'm glad that we are talking about it. But let me lay this out for you. So my knowledge drop today is, and it's definitely been researched, and I will be sharing a follow-up on my Facebook and on LinkedIn. So you can follow me at the Sentinels Collective on both sites. Just look that up and you'll find me. But so okay. Knowledge drop. I didn't know this. I've had a service animal for about almost 2.5 years now. Trained through a local organization who donated that training to me as a veteran, as a disabled veteran that was in need, and got connected with them, and they trained my service animal for me. And so I've been taking him to the VA for quite a while, right? We've been through X-ray, we've been through MRI, CT scans, labs, all kinds of stuff. Great service animal. And then I walk in one day and at the plexiglass window, there's a brand new VA service dog policy placed. So it's really difficult because when I saw that, I want to be respectful of what's going on. And what the VA is trying to implement or whatnot, especially with their guidelines. However, I also don't believe it's right if you don't have the right policy and the right things in place. You can't just throw something up there and say, hey, you don't get to come in today because now we've decided that, we put up a post-it where it says that children are not allowed to be unsupervised, and then you add service dogs under that and say, oh, service dogs aren't allowed to be in here either, and then you cite safety, and it cites a mention of it being on the va.gov site for the South Texas VA. So of course, if it's on the va.gov site and that's where they got the rules and regulations, I'm going to go and I'm going to check, because everything with the VA is public, right? You have all the docs, SOPs. So I went and I checked and I found two different things. I found the VHA Directive 1188. Now, this is the access policy that says, and it dates back to, I believe, 2015, which is when they put the
Wow, really?
the act in place to actually allow service animals to be in the VA, because the ADA guidelines do not actually guide the VA, because the VA is a federal component. It guides itself. It doesn't fall under ADA. Okay. So they have their guidelines. And so their first guideline they put into place was the one that allowed the service animals into the facilities. Okay. Now, I want you to be aware, this is specifically, so my service animal, yes, he is trained for certain areas of my seizures that I have. But, and I will be full transparency, just so you know the situation. My service animal is my PTSD service animal. He is trained mainly for my PTSD, just to, he gives me space in areas. He keeps people from being so close to me. He calms me and regulates me and allows and lets me know when I need to calm down. Okay. And he does a really good job of it. You know, Dex, he's done a really good job of that. But so he's my psychiatric service dog, according to the VA guidelines and their verbiage. That's what he's considered under their verbiage. Okay. So it explicitly names PTSD tasks: the nightmare interruption, anxiety alerts, grounding during flashbacks. You know, your dog walks through the front door, no questions asked beyond the 288 style guidelines. The questions that they are allowed to ask, and everyone is your animal a service animal? And what is the task? What is one of the tasks it performs for you? What task does it perform? Okay. You can answer with one answer and then go about your day. That's the welcome mat to the VA. Okay. Then here's this other policy that's very important. And I found this recently because, again, I'm thankful the conversation is coming out, because I get stopped at the VA about once every 2 to 3 weeks by a different veteran asking specifically about my service animal and these services, okay, that are available to certain individuals, certain veterans with service animals through prosthetics.
So what kind of services are they?
Those services are going to be where you're able to, if your dog, and here's where I know that there's a lot of gray area in the VA, so I'm going to distinguish what that gray area looks like. The services that they can provide to someone at the VA through prosthetics with your service animal is that it's the benefits policy. So this one controls whether the VA will help pay for your dog's veterinary care, but also here's where the door closes. Okay. And that's the clarity I'm providing through that gray area. The door closes if the service animal does not provide services specific to vision loss, hearing loss, or substantial mobility impairments. Okay. Those are the only three. Not PTSD service animals, not psychiatric service animals, even though we know that they are both trained and that they are both recognized by the VA as noted in the Directive 1188. They're allowed, they're designated there. However, they do not get the same level of benefits. So from what I understand from the research that I've done is that, you know, it just really hit me hard, I guess, because I did walk in that day, and I'm a veteran just like everybody else. And I have good days, bad days, ups and downs, right? I had some extra time. I went to go get the x-rays. I had my service animal with me because that's what he's always with me. We go up to the glass and they're like, "Oh, ma'am, you're not allowed to bring your service animal into x-ray anymore." Well, what do you mean I'm not allowed? And that's when that window, the plexiglass note was up there, right? And so I was able, though, thankfully, because of my connections that I've made at this VA, because I've been with a certain clinic for a certain amount of time. And so they know me very, very, very well. But that's a personal connection. Not every veteran has that opportunity to have that level of personal connection. The proposed solution for me by the VA was for me to drive my service animal 45 minutes one way back home, leave him there, drive another 45 minutes back to the VA, get my x-rays, and then drive another 45 minutes back home. So not only I would be in the vehicle for 3 hours that day, 1.5 hours round trip.
And you know they're only going to give you like one there and back, like gas credit.
Oh, exactly. If even that,
to cover all that.
Walk-in. So it's not even a travel day because I didn't have an appointment, but I had extra time and labs that had to get done. Right.
Yeah.
And that was a solution. But thankfully, because I knew some people and they've worked with me and they're very amazing in what they do. Not everyone's horrible, I promise. There are some very amazing individuals that work at the VA. But because of that, that's the only reason I was able to get access to that care that day. And so when you look into this and then you start seeing some of the gaps in the gray areas where it says, okay, well, there's nothing specifically that states that my service animal isn't allowed to go into an x-ray room. None of the guidelines state that. And it doesn't fall under safety. It doesn't fall under health risk because those are items like if a burn unit. I definitely would not have my animal in a burn unit. I would not have them in an ICU where sterilization is of key importance, things of that nature. But he is trained to place. Yeah. And so when you're not able to go into a space for your day-to-day normal care, it really can impact the overall access. Well, it does impact the access to care. It impacts your entire mental stability. Thankfully, I was able to make a phone call to a fellow advocate and get some clarity in that situation and begin asking some questions. But that, again, is why I think it's so important to bring it to the table and bring it up in topics like, or situations like these to talk about it. I know I'm getting a little squirrely. I'm sorry. I'll reel it back in. It's more about the actual
land your plane
in the guidance. So no, seriously. And that's the dissonance between the two guidances, right? Because there's one area of legislation where it says, okay, your service animal, PTSD dog included, as well as a hearing, a service animal that's used for tasks such as hearing or vision or mobility, right? But if you don't have one of those three primary issues, you don't get access to the prosthetics care, which covers the things like the veterinary visits. It covers costs of harnesses. It covers transportation. It covers some of the veterinary bills. Oh my gosh, Dexter, 2 months, $800. Gone. Vet bills. Okay. But because he's a PTSD, and when I asked about this through the system, the proper channels, I was informed that my provider was not aware of her place in the chain in the proper orientation of how this is supposed to go. So because no one was explaining it and expressing it, and no one knew what was actually on the website or how to go look something about what the process is, I was told that my service animal period does not qualify. However, due to the seizure aspect, that is a mobility issue within the PTSD, and he is also trained to cover down on me and keep me safe when I go into a seizure.
Yep.
So I will be bringing those factors back up. But again, I don't feel like it should be that difficult for a veteran who is utilizing a service animal that is properly trained, properly behaving, and is under their control, like all the guidelines. Any place that you would go, you have to have those three things maintained, right? Why is it so hard to get the proper allowance for care?
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to pick and choose like that. Like I don't, especially because so many veterans have dogs like specifically for PTSD or other issues that they could put under that umbrella, because it seems like there's a lot of gray in that, which is weird because military regulation is usually black and white.
Yep.
But I mean, maybe we need to start advocating like up in Washington, letting them know.
I have something for you, and that's what I mentioned. So I will be releasing probably by tomorrow at midday. I will be releasing a new document for everyone that you can access through my Facebook or my LinkedIn page that has a template of a letter that points out the dissonance in these two regulations that the VA has in play. And it provides some very structured things that we're asking for to be done. And so please feel free to take a look, share it. Again, I will have it on my Facebook and on the Sentinels Collective LinkedIn site as well. So please go to either of those to be able to find it, and we'll share it across with Yes, I Am the Veteran podcast, so that it's accessible to everyone who's interested in seeing it as well.
Awesome.
Why the change? Does anyone know why
was a recent policy change? Yeah, that's interesting. I'd like to know that too.
I think it must, in my eyes, the way that I see it is, I think something either happened.
Always.
That's always what prompts something like that to be done, right? I'm sure that there was a
situation. Yeah.
But the thing is just because there is a situation, it states clearly that, and this is what bothers me about the sign, okay? The sign that was in the X-ray lab specifically, we're going to stick to that one at this point. That what bothered me about that, it was listed about children not being able to be supervised by any of the staff members. So no one between the ages of, like, I have to look at the picture, but 0 to 18, let's just say 0 to 18 for the sake of argument, that it said no one in those ages can be left alone and has to have somebody with them at all times in the lobby or wherever, but cannot be in the back due to safety reasons. Okay, children running around, things like that. I don't know that there is a guidance for that, though. There is guidance. Okay, so there is a documented verification that says, yes, this is the standard rule across the VA. But what it doesn't have is it does not have anywhere on va.gov or any written regulation change specific to a service animal and them considering an X-ray room unsafe.
Yeah. Be interested to know the policy like behind that.
That's where they go to 1188 about service animals, but there's nothing written, period.
That's weird.
About it. And that's the thing is that, you know, and so if something of this nature happens to you at the VA, there's definitely recourse and there's ways in which you can address it. I know it doesn't always fix it immediately, but I will tell you, addressing it and bringing it to light, it definitely helps in the long run and for those that come behind you and come after you. And so bringing it up, you know, in a factual based manner to your patient advocate, sharing the dissonance and, hey, I see this over here. I see this over here. Where is this that says that my service animal is not allowed in an X-ray room when he knows how to place? And that means he goes up against the wall behind the shield where the X-ray techs are. He sits there, lays down, places, and he's in my constant control of vision and by my commands. Yeah. And he's not moving. That's why he's trained to do that, is for those specific situations. And so, you know, but having someone come and say, oh no, because we had some situation and we're not clear, but we want this to look official. So we're going to say that it's, you know, it's policy that's given by to South Texas VA on va.gov. But when I go to look at va.gov and I can find nothing.
Sounds like it's a local policy change.
It is, but it's also something that affects all of our VAs in the policy of the animals and the lack of the similarities between a PTSD service animal and a guide animal.
That's definitely something that it should be brought to light because of the fact that I guarantee there's thousands of other veterans dealing with similar issues.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have even known or anything about the guide animal side if I hadn't looked into this issue about the service animal.
So it's like you found like a whole like treasure trove of stuff trying to look up something related. And that's interesting.
Yes. And then I found that gap, and I think that it's very important, you know, and I know not everyone has a service animal, but for those of us that do, I can tell you, even in that moment when I was at that desk and I was standing there and I'm freaking out on the inside and dealing with all this stuff coming up on the inside, he's sitting there and he's putting his head up against my leg, touching me, saying, Mom. And that was enough to be able to, okay, Amelia, let's take some deep breaths. Let's back up from the situation. Let's not lose let's not lose it. Let's just assess and let me respond appropriately, which is what I was able to do by exiting even further because I knew I needed a little bit of time before coming back.
That's fair. Well, thank you for the information. And I definitely want to talk more about it when we have James on in May.
Yes.
So we can ask like more specific questions. So you write your questions down, Amelia. We're going to ask them.
Got it. Absolutely. Thank you for letting me share. I know it's not applicable to everybody, but I hope it will give you knowledge and maybe you can share that with someone else.
Yeah, check va.gov all the time. Like they have like emails that they send with policy changes. I'm terrible at keeping up with them, but it is a really good source of information as well. But always check va.gov because there's always changes to policies. But we'll go ahead and wrap up tonight. I know we were supposed to have Vetted on, but unfortunately, it wasn't able to happen, but we will go ahead and wrap it up tonight. And we'll start with Amelia. What are your final thoughts for today? You want to go in order.
My final thoughts. Let's go last. I'm going to go last. Y'all go ahead. Pacifica.
Now you're messing up the rotation. Now you're messing up the rotation.
Oh, mess up the rotation. Rock on. No, I know a lot of people with psychiatric service animals, some of these animals are there to help even simple stuff, or it seems simple, like helping people start conversations and be social. And it's hard on them when they can't bring their animals with them. And yeah, that's really unfortunate. So I'm sorry that happened to you. Absolutely. I need to get Lucy trained because she would be an outstanding emotional support animal. She's a natural. But yeah, I'll when we're ready to find out, we'll find out.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with Pacifica. That was not cool. And Dexter is the goodest boy when he's on the job. And he was even representing at the table. Yeah, he was even representing at the table like all day. Like he was kind of over it at the end, but he like was doing so good like the whole day. But I would just say, pay it forward. I challenge you this week to do like one random act of kindness for someone else. There's so much negativity out there right now with all that's going on. Do something kind for someone else. You never know what can come out of that. And it's not like you're doing it for something either, but I don't know, like I love to pay it forward. And so I love to see other people doing random acts of kindness.
And I'll definitely agree with you on that too. Random acts of kindness, daily gratitude, those things definitely keep my heart at peace and give me inner peace, because it's not really about what I'm doing for someone else. It's about me doing it and allowing that to happen. And I love how you were sharing that, Brandy. And so in that same vein, I would just say that, stand up. Right? Speak up, talk about the things that are occurring. It's not that we need to have a fight. We need to have conversations that address some of these gray areas. Because honestly, these gray areas impact our lives in a lot of ways, and they won't survive the sunlight when we bring that to them. And so don't be so concerned to have some of these harder conversations. Please let us know what you're interested in, or if there's certain things that have been happening, what that might look like for you. We would love to hear and see if we might be able to help advocate or share your story in any way too.
Yep. Reach out to us through our podcast or through the Sentinels Collective, and we will be happy to do that. I know that people have been asking about doing a medical podcast again, and so that's something that we'll probably be doing inside of the month of May. Tune in next week. We'll have Sarah Boyd coming on, and she'll be talking about her organization and what they're doing for veterans that have had side effects from military vaccines. So
anthrax.
Yes,
I'm excited to be. I can't wait for that one.
Anthrax? Yeah, me too.
No, the podcast to learn.
Yeah,
not the anthrax.
So fun fact about me.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
About me, I'm actually one of the few people that can say that she legally gave her ex-husband anthrax 5 times and told him to stop taking it like a. I regret nothing.
Oh, I love you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's always
All
such
right.
a pleasure to be around y'all.
We are Yes, I Am the Veteran. Have a great night, guys, and we will see you next week. Aurelia, take us away.
Hi, I'm Aurelia. Just a reminder, smash like, hit subscribe, and click the bell. Please give me my mommy some hearts. Yay, veterans!